1. When I was about 25 or so, boyfriend and I decided to live apart. We were broken up for a very short while, and when we got back together, we just kept separate places for a long time. I highly recommend all women live on their own for at least a year before they decide to cohabitate. I learned a lot of life lessons during this time. My apartment was pretty amazing for a young single woman who was supporting herself. Although it was a one-bedroom, it boasted a separate office and dining room as well. Each room was a separate room with its own door. However, the layout was a little strange. Except for the bathroom, the rooms didn't branch off a hallway. Instead, you went through each room separately to get through the place, and my bedroom was at the end. When you entered the apartment, the rooms went as follows. Living room to the office, then you either turned right to a small hallway that led to the bedroom, bathroom branched off here, or you went straight ahead and into the kitchen, then turned right to go to the dining room, then bedroom. The best feature of my apartment was accessible from the kitchen. The back door opened up onto a large covered balcony. The place was large, cheap, $450 a month in the year 2000, and all utilities paid. I even got free basic cable. The landlords were a rare find. They were elderly and sweet, and quickly took care of issues that came up. With one exception. My back door, the one leading to the balcony, had no lock on it. Now, it's actually mostly my fault that I didn't make it a priority to get it fixed. I really thought that I was pretty safe because the balcony had no steps leading down or anything, and the wall was sheer. The balcony was high up enough that a standard ladder would not reach it, so if someone tried to enter, they would have to be extremely determined. Now, my decorating tastes are a little boho, and I'm fond of stuff that sparkles and shines. My apartment reflected my tastes, and was decorated with fairies and crystals and butterflies. I had sun catchers and wind chimes in the appropriate locations. A friend gave me a couple of sets of miniature fairy chimes as a gift, and, as they were very small, I decided to hang them on each of my doors. I enjoyed the slight tinkling sound they made whenever the doors opened and closed. Thank God, or whatever you worship, for my eclectic tastes. I'm sitting in the office, playing some flash time-waster of a game on my computer, when I hear the chimes on the balcony door. I assume I had failed to shut it completely and the wind had blown it open, so I jump up to close it again. And I come face to face with a skinny, shirtless, sweaty ginger dude with jailhouse tats all over his chest. He's obviously surprised to see me. I'm scared shitless, but I try not to show it. You hear all these stories of people getting severely beaten or even killed when interrupting a robbery. I'm surprised that he didn't just knock me over the head with something and run, but luckily he didn't. What the fuck are you doing? The guy kind of laughs and says, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm here to do some contracting work on your apartment." How did you get in? Some dude here. Who? I work for some dude and he told me I'd have to climb the porch. He said the back door would be unlocked. I look out and there's no ladder, rope, or anything to climb on. I'm thinking, who is this dude? Batman? I have no idea who some dude is, and no, there's no work scheduled for this apartment. Also, in case you haven't noticed this, I gesture toward the balcony, nearly screaming now, "It's not a fucking porch!" As Ginger Dude is mumbling again about how he was hired by some dude to do work and something about climbing the porch, I realize that he is not so steady on his feet. He is also slurring his words a bit. Great. The guy is under the influence of something, and through his stupid, senseless mumbling, I finally just resort to screaming, "Get out! Get out!" over and over. He says he feels really bad about scaring me, but before I realize what is happening, he grips me in a smelly, sweaty hug. He goes out the door, and the second he is gone, I have a full-blown panic attack. I'm bent over, head between my knees, wondering faintly if I should call the police or someone, when I hear a terrific crash from my living room area. As it turns out, Ginger Dude had gone into another part of my building and climbed into the attic area, and he was poking around. He lost his footing. There are beams you have to step on to get across the attic, and had fallen through my ceiling. I stand in my living room and I'm looking at a pair of scrawny legs poking through my suspended ceiling. He pulls himself up and in a high-pitched, smart-ass kind of voice calls out, "Excuse me!" This infuriates me, and being the smart, modern woman I am, I go storming into the attic to confront him. He once again starts giving me his bullshit story about being hired to do work on the place, and I tell him he's full of shit. He holds his hands up in an appeasing manner and says, Okay. What do you want from me? I tell him what I want is for you to go downstairs, and I want you to sit on the curb, and I want you to wait for the police, because I'm calling them right now. They are coming, and they are taking you to jail. When the police show up, he is sitting obediently on the curb, patiently awaiting his right to the pokey. Turns out his girlfriend at the time was in the apartment next to me, and he thought he was breaking into her place. My landlord's got a new lock on the door in short order. But wait, folks, there's more. Eventually, I got called to testify in court against him, along with a number of other people whose homes he apparently also invaded. I get approached by a Brittany, in a teensy denim skirt, and this is a conversation.
Are you the girl whose apartment Ginger Boy broke into?
Yes, I am.
I'm his ex.
Oh.
No, not your neighbor. I'm his baby mama.
Yes, she said that.
Are you going to press charges?
Yes, I am.
Well, I don't blame you, but I just wanted to let you know that he has a 2-year-old and a baby on the way. So you might want to think about that.
Why? He didn't think about it before he did what he did.
He has kids to support. I just think you should think about it, that's all.
Look, I appreciate your situation, but...
My situation? I got no situation. He never gave me nothing. He hasn't seen his child in months, yada yada yada. Maybe you should think about that. As for me, I'll be pressing charges. Turns out Ginger Boy had broken into multiple homes and actually attacked an elderly woman who happened to be home when he broke in. He got 5 years for breaking into my place. Not sure what he got for the others. Maybe it was 5 years total, I really forget. The courthouse took a couple hours, but I got a paid day off from work, because I was subpoenaed. I have no idea why he didn't attack me like he did the elderly lady. I feel extremely lucky because usually stories like this don't end so well. It did, however, give me one hell of a story to tell. 2. Tickets for my favorite group, BTS, were going on sale. Getting tickets for them is hell, and having a good laptop and Wi-Fi was key to up your chances of snatching a good set. My university's Wi-Fi was complete ass, so I decided that I would go around to various fast food places to test their Wi-Fi, to see which one was best. This wasn't too hard to do since my university was walking distance from an abundance of various restaurants and fast food places, plus more food places that were a few minutes away by car or bus. One of the places I decided to test was McDonald's, which was only a 5-minute drive from my university. I had my boyfriend take me, and we went inside, set up my laptop, iPad, and my phone. We ordered something to snack on as well, because you can't pass up the opportunity of McDonald's fries if you're in McDonald's. In front of our table were a group of old guys who looked around the age where death would be knocking on their door soon. Me and my boyfriend and I were busy checking the Wi-Fi speed and conversing and giggling, when one of the old guys decides to jokingly make a comment along the lines of how we shouldn't be doing homework on a weekend, and how teenagers are always working or into their phones. I don't remember the exact wording he said, but it was along these lines. We both just awkwardly chuckled and then went back to what we were doing and tried to look busy. Apparently, old people don't care if you're busy whatsoever, because he kept making jokes and speaking to us and telling us to stop working, etc. Notably, the majority of his remarks and conversation were directed towards just me, and not to my boyfriend. Now, I was already kinda nervous because people randomly talking to me makes me a little antsy, especially ones who keep on rambling after I make it clear I don't want to talk anymore. But him being an older man added to my nervousness even more due to how creepy and predatory they can be. He starts asking questions that are more personal, like, where do I go to school, and how old was I, and whatnot. I was getting uncomfortable at this point, but answered his questions and told him the college I attended, and how old I was. Looking back now, I don't think me telling him the truth about it was that harmful. He probably forgot as soon as I told him. He also starts complimenting me and saying how pretty I was. All the while he's doing this, the older men are either laughing or telling him to leave the poor girl alone. He starts to make some comments on me and my boyfriend's relationship as well, saying how we were cute and it's nice to see young couples and how long we've been with each other. After we answer, he laughs and says, well, if you ever get tired of him and want to look for someone else,
I'm always available. You can kill me and get some money.
I was 100% uncomfortable at this point, and just laughed along nervously while scooching closer to my boyfriend. I didn't think he was serious, though, and was just trying to joke around with us to seem likable or cool. But even him suggesting that was creepy and uncalled for. He finally leaves us alone after that as he chuckles to himself and goes back to talking to the old men. After a few minutes, I asked my boyfriend if he could grab me some things from the car because I wasn't feeling too good due to reasons. As soon as he left, the old guy and his friends get up too, and I hoped they would just walk out and pass by my table without saying a word to me. But apparently I have bad luck, so instead, the same old man talking to me stops to stand right by me. He sees my university ID card and picks it up, making remarks about how good I looked in the picture and how I looked even prettier in person, and just looking me up and down. His friends chuckle and tell him to leave the poor girl alone, and I hoped he would clean the wax out of his ears and listen and leave me alone. He just laughs and places his hand on my shoulder, giving it a light squeeze while exclaiming,
"No, I don't want to leave her alone. She's too cute."
At this point, I was way past uncomfortable. I knew nothing deadly was going to happen to me because we were in a public place, even though the McDonald's was empty. So I knew they weren't going to kidnap me or anything, but I was still severely creeped out. I was screaming in my head for my boyfriend to hurry TF back in here so they would leave, because I didn't know what to do besides nervously laugh. They linger for a while the old guy looks at my ID card one more time, before finally putting it back down on the table, and squeezes my shoulder again. He finally leaves, after telling me to have a good day. A few seconds later my boyfriend returns and I'm sitting there trying to relax and calm my nerves. I might be overreacting at getting so nervous, because the threat of me being taken or hurt was most likely next to none. But old men hitting on young girls just severely creeps me out beyond words. To that old man, let's never meet again. 3. This happened about 4 to 5 years ago, but I remember it like it happened 20 minutes ago because it was so batshit crazy. It's Wednesday, roughly 2 p.m. I work security for a local university. Today I'm stuck inside manning the desk and phones. Just a quick description of our office. We have our main security office right at our main entrance. The entire office has glass walls. It's so students can always see that we are present and there to help. 95% of the people who come into the security office are just lost students. Personally, I love my job. It's great for someone who is as physically broken as me, but I digress. This girl, approximately 22 years old, rushes in and is in a visible panic. She opens up and tells me that we need to start evacuating the campus so students don't die. Now, writing her side of the story will be a bit difficult because I am unable to properly display the outright panic and insanity. I tell her to calm down and tell me what she thinks is going on. She goes on to say, "There's a bomb attached to the front of the coffee machine in the cafeteria on the 4th floor. I ask, what makes you think it's a bomb? Reasonable question, right? "Listen, idiot, I know what a bomb looks like. It's this black device held on the front of the machine where you put the change. It's counting down and has a blinking red light that's blinking faster and faster. If we don't start evacuating students now, people will die. Do you want the death of students on your hands?" Ma'am, please calm down. You might scare other students. Look, I'll go check it out, and if what you say is true, we will call the police and get everyone to safety, is what I said. What I wanted to say was, "Jesus Christ, you insane bitch, calm your tits." Anyways, I tell her to wait here while I go and look at it. I get to the coffee machine in question. I immediately see what she thought was the bomb, but give the machine a good look over just to be safe. The bomb in question was a fucking power converter on the floor that was like 4 feet away from the machine. I give a little chuckle and head back towards the office. When I get there, I see that she's gone, so I tell some of my co-workers and 2 of my bosses about it. We had a great laugh. 15 minutes go by and Bomb Lady comes running into the office like she just witnessed a murder. This was surprising to see because she was a large person. Now she's in an even bigger panic than before. After she rushes in, she says, "We need to evacuate and get the SWAT team here now. The whole school is in danger." Ma'am, please calm down. What's the problem? You have an ISIS terrorist installing bombs in the library.
Yes, that's exactly what she said, word for word. Ma'am, what makes you think he's a terrorist and installing bombs in our library?
He gave his identity when he refused to give me his fake IDs.
Excuse me?
Yes, I'm a homicide detective. I demanded to see his passport, his proof of citizenship, his green card, and his social insurance number. He refused to give them to me because he knows they're fake, and I know how to spot fakes.
Now in my mind, I'm cursing this chick out. I'm shouting horrible things, again in my mind. Ma'am, you aren't allowed to do that to someone. If you felt there was something wrong, you come to us or call the police.
I'm allowed to do what I want. I'm a private investigator. It's you guys who have limits.
Oh yes, you read that right. She went from homicide detective to private investigator in under a few seconds, but it gets better. So she continues to yell about how we aren't acting fast enough in the evacuation and students are going to die. I just keep telling her to lower her voice because she could cause a panic, which could lead to a whole mess of other issues. This went on for only a few minutes. You see, the person who she claimed was an ISIS member installing bombs in the library walks into our office. Now, before I continue, I want you to try and imagine the person someone would mistake for a terrorist. Probably someone of color, possibly wearing a turban, things of that nature, right? Oh boy, you would be wrong. What walks in is a 55-year-old white guy with pure grey hair. On top of that, he is in full janitor uniform, ID badge on, tools in his belt, the whole 9 yards. It still boggles my mind at how someone could ever think this guy is a terrorist. So, he walks in and says in the nicest possible way, "Excuse me, this young lady seems to think I'm somebody I'm not. I just wanted to clear up this mistake. I have to finish installing new shelves in the library." Bomb Psycho hears him, whips around, and her face turns to pure terror and anger, like she just watched a queen xenomorph have rough anal sex with her mom. She points to him and screams, "How dare you allow this ISIS piece of shit in the same room as me? He's going to kill us all, and none of you seem to care." Ma'am, if it bothers you so much, let's move out to the hallway to talk. Thankfully she did, but once we got out of there, she goes off. "You filthy rent-a-cops are so fired. We are on code red. This city is in danger. Just wait till I put this on the news today. You'll all lose your jobs for not taking this threat seriously." Excuse me? I'm an investigative journalist for the local youth network. You're all fucked once this hits 6 o'clock news. You're risking lives of thousands just by having that piece of shit here. Ma'am, I'm not going to tell you again. Either you lower your voice or we will remove you from the premises. Now look, if you want, we will call the police. You can come sit in our office where it's safe and give your side of the story to the police. Fuck you, I've done nothing wrong. You can't hold me here against my will. Besides, why would I want to stay on a campus that's about to explode? Okay, well, if you want to make things easier, just leave your details with us. We will pass those on to the police and they will contact you at their leisure. Is that okay? I don't have to give you anything, you fucking pig. You're nothing but trash. Just wait till I put it on the news that the security at this university doesn't care about their students and wants thousands of children dead. You piece of shit. And walks off. So to the crazy lady who wanted to incite panic and changed her jobs 3 times in under 20 minutes, let's not meet again. Please. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to 3 True Scary Stories, episode 405, and thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. I think I made it just before the birds start chirping. Yep, they're just starting to get into it now. Managed to get everything done before they really started to lay it on. Good. Well, I was a good boy the weekend. I managed to get the front grass done. Get work done a bit earlier, clear out a bit of time on Monday so I don't have to rush back from the hospital. Hopefully it's a nice day because I'm usually walking home, so it's nice if it's a bit sunny. I can do a bit of shopping on my way back, so that'll make things easier on me. I do, when I'm busy or when I'm sick or the weather's bad or whatever, I do sometimes get my groceries delivered, but I was kind of put off doing that because I mentioned to you guys I had a kind of an odd delivery driver who got, it just felt very, very weird that like I'd insulted him by giving him a tip. And because I did mention that before, so I've been kind of put off ordering another delivery from, it was Tesco it was actually, ordering another delivery from them because I
just didn't want to get the same guy again because, quite frankly, the whole thing was awkward. He wasn't rude exactly, just really, really weird. Kind of weird to the point where I'm thinking, well, I usually tip my drivers, it's never a problem before, but if this guy comes and I don't tip him, is that going to be awkward or what? I don't know. It's very, very, very odd indeed. It's not like he could just said, oh no, thank you, that would have been fine. I was, okay, no problem at all, I understand. Thank you, goodbye. But he took the money, then complained that it was too... I'm just rambling on. Okay, I'm going to head off for now, so until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.